Hello everyone, I greet you in the name of God Almighty. My name is Opportunity and Silas, and today we have a very interesting video to react to. And then this one says that Islam is spreading far and wide between the Americans and the Caribbeans. I believe that this is going to be a very interesting one. So guys, before we get on to the video, I'm a theologian and I make this video not to discredit anyone's religion. This is basically for educational purposes, and I believe that at the end of this video we all are going to learn from this. So guys, without any further ado, let's get down to this video and check this out.
The history of Islam in the Americas and the Caribbean spans several centuries and is influenced by diverse factors such as trade, migration, slavery, and contemporary immigration. There is evidence suggesting that Muslim explorers from West Africa may have reached the Americas prior to European colonization. Some historians argue that Muslims may have been among the indigenous peoples encountered by early European explorers, although concrete evidence is sparse. During the transatlantic slave trade from the 16th to 19th centuries, millions of Africans, including Muslims from West and Central Africa, were forcibly brought to the Americas and the Caribbean. Many enslaved Muslims maintained their religious practices despite attempts by slaveholders to convert them to Christianity. In the early 20th century, Muslim immigrants from the Middle East and South Asia began arriving in the U.S., contributing to the diversity of the Muslim community. Islam is also growing fast within the prison system, as those convicted have time to reflect on life and also gain protection from fellow brothers from gangs operating within the prisons.
In Brazil, which received the largest number of African slaves in the Americas, there were significant numbers of Muslim slaves. They practiced Islam clandestinely and were known as the Malay or Muslim slaves. The Malay Revolt of 1835 in Bahia, Brazil, was led by Muslim slaves influenced by Islamic teachings. According to statistics, the number of Muslims in Latin America is over 4 million. There are around 700,000 in Argentina, more than 1.5 million in Brazil, and thousands of others scattered around the Americas. Arab immigrants, primarily from Lebanon, Syria, and Palestine, arrived in countries like Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia seeking economic opportunities. Many of these immigrants were Muslim and they brought their faith with them, establishing mosques, cultural centers, and communities. Suriname has the highest percentage of Muslims in its population for the region, with 13.9% or 75,053 individuals, according to its 2012 census. Islam came to Suriname with immigrants from Indonesia, India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Did you know that the president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, is half Palestinian? He is famous for taking El Salvador from the most dangerous place on earth to one of the safest countries by arresting over 70,000 members from the satanic gang MS-13. His father, Armando Bukele Catan, was born in El Salvador, but his parents were Christian Palestinian from Bethlehem. Armando Bukele Catan converted to Islam from Christianity in the 1980s and became an imam. He opened the first mosque in El Salvador, opening 4 mosques in total in the country. His son unfortunately doesn't claim to be Muslim. He said he believes in God and Jesus after growing up in a mixed religious household with his father a Muslim and mother a Christian. Latin America has had many leaders with Arab origins, countries such as Ecuador, Brazil, Colombia, Honduras, and Paraguay. There are also many Latin celebrities with Arab origins.
Muslims were also present in various Caribbean islands, particularly those colonized by European powers involved in the transatlantic slave trade. In places like Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, and Guyana, there were Muslim slaves who maintained their religious identity through oral traditions and resistance to conversion. In the 20th century, Muslim immigration to the Americas and the Caribbean increased significantly. This included immigrants from the Middle East, South Asia, and Africa, as well as converts to Islam from local populations. These immigrants and converts have established mosques, cultural centers, and educational institutions, contributing to the diversity of the Muslim community in the region. Islam's influence can be seen in the cultural heritage of some Caribbean nations. This influence is reflected in cuisine, language, and folklore. Today, the Muslim population in the Americas and the Caribbean is diverse. Muslims contribute to the social, economic, and cultural life of their respective countries, often forming vibrant communities that celebrate their religious and cultural heritage. In summary, Islam's history in the Americas and the Caribbean is rich and multifaceted. It highlights the resilience of Muslim communities and their contributions to the broader tapestry of the region's history.
That's a very interesting one, looking at the spread of the Islam, you understand, in America and then some of the Caribbean countries. But one thing that is always the problem of the spread of Islam is always about integration to different nations, values, systems, and then what the practice have always, you understand, be the problem, especially, you understand, in Europe. Because you will see that, you understand, they go there and then they want to practice whatever they practice, you understand, in their country, and then those have led to so many problems we tend to face nowadays. I'm not saying that something is wrong for you to practice your religion, but I am saying that you should be able to respect the value of that nation in which, you understand, you find yourself, so that there are some certain things that of course you may like to do, but then first you have to look at, you understand, the place you are and see if, you understand, is favorable or not. But immediately, you understand, you migrated from your own nation and then you go to another place and then you want to impose your religion, you understand, on them. So those are the certain things that do lead to problems. But then having watched, you understand, this video is been make me to kind of ask myself that how is Brazil managing it, even though having over 1.3 million, you understand, Muslim over there, but do not hear all those crises, all those disagreement and all those things happening over there. So if you look at some of the Caribbean, you understand, countries, how have they been doing it? Those Argentina, Brazil, and the rest of them, how have they been doing it? How have they been handling it? Is there something that we need to learn from these nations? And why is it that we don't get the same thing, you understand, probably in the Europe all the time? You hear this has happened, the other one has happened, and all this. So how about, you understand, in the Brazil? How are they able to like integrate and still practice their religion without actually offending one another? In as much as, of course, I know that different people, you understand, migrated to different countries for different reasons. Some could be economical, some could be because of war and all that. So many things, you understand, are currently happening in our world, you understand, nowadays. And I am saying that immediately you find yourself in another place, at least first thing that should come to your mind is these people have a value system and I also have a value system. So as you find yourself in whatever nation you are, it's been expected of you to integrate. And then in the process of integration, I'm not saying that you should integrate by doing negative things that will make you to go against, you understand, your God or whatever you practice. But then I am saying that as you integrate, try to practice whatever they see without not necessarily have to offend your maker, which means that you can actually, maybe probably, if you go to a place and it says that okay, they don't need a mosque, pray at home. And same is also applicable to Christianity. If you are a Christian, you find yourself in Saudi or I don't know, Iran, I don't know if churches, you understand, are allowed there. But then if you understand it's not allowed there, what are you supposed to do? Pray inside your room. At least God understands your heart. So don't try to kind of force everything on them and says that just because you are in your country and then maybe probably women drive, right? And then you go to Iran and say that because of you are not their citizen, so your wife must drive when you're in Iran. No, you are going to follow what? Their rules. You understand? So that's why I'm saying that there's a need for what? For integration and respect of, you understand, the laws and values of whatever nation you find yourself as you migrated. But then nevertheless, it's very interesting one, you understand, seeing the religion, you understand, spreading. It means that the people who involve themselves, you understand, in trade or whatever reasons that makes them, you understand, to travel to those respective, you understand, nations, it means that they must be doing something right. And that's the reason why they are able to at least convince people, or people be able to see them, how they conduct themselves and how they do, for them to be able to see the religion to become very attractive for them to be able to convert. Else otherwise we will not be here talking about, you understand, conversion rate and all those things. Is because of somebody is doing something right, and that is why people, you understand, are doing so. Even though nevertheless, me as a religious person, probably I may have my own reasons why I think that maybe probably the people could have not made that very decision by converting, you understand, to Islam, but it will be on a different, you understand, topic entirely. So let me not deviate, you understand, on it, but then to just focus on whatever, you understand, the video is all about. But then this video was recommended to me to react to by Ba Mukhtar. Okay, so he sent this thing to me through an email, so I decided to check it out. So thanks for sharing and have a wonderful day too. I know that a lot of you have thought and opinions and concerning it, and I wanted to drop it at the comment section, and may God bless you as you do so. So this is the end of my video. If you like my reaction, you like, share and subscribe, and if you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section and I'm going to check it out. So guys, you remain blessed and I see you in my next video.